Seems like it's been a 2-1 kind of day.
It's going to be 2-1.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-1. On this, honestly, I'd have to say I'm going to take... Oh, it's tough. I'm going to take Luminosity 2-1 over Kungarna.
I'm going to have to go with Luminosity as well. It's the same thing as Complexity. I don't necessarily have empirical data to back this up right now. I'm just going to say I'm feeling it.
You're feeling it.
Although, there's also the point of Kungarna being another one of those teams like Renegades. You start taking them to new maps, and perhaps you don't necessarily have any sort of evidence to base what you're going to see off of. But with Kungarna, I think that's a little bit less. They kind of have a few comps that they run very reliably. You know what Baby Bay is going to play. Most of the time, you know what Connor J is going to play. I just wouldn't take these guys to a control point, because that's when it just comes completely out of your control. And Connor J, along with Baby Bay and Michael, can just absolutely steal the match away from him if you were to go to Lijiang. I don't think Luminosity is the team that's going to do that, though. That might be perhaps Kungarna's selection in the event that Luminosity wins the first map.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it plays out first, but it will be Luminosity on the defense to kick us off. Yet again, another team running the Symmetra on the defensive side here on Dorado. It will be Mineral on that for Luminosity. Kungarna starts on the offense here.
You know, we didn't talk about Spree in our little moment, but
how could we forget that?
Last show we had, Spree basically was starting up his own video series, Will It Melt? And the answer was always yes.
Oh, the guy was, I mean, a monster on Zarya. I can't believe we forgot to really talk about him much, because this guy on Zarya can do some pretty disgusting things.
We just saving it for last. We wanted to hype it right before you see it. Mineral already up to 25% on Symmetra. Not surprising whatsoever to see a team like Luminosity play Symmetra here. And all teams now taking that path around through the stairs and not necessarily going underneath the bridge. A nasty kill zone, very similar to Gibraltar.
Good bubble from Baby Bay to keep Connor J up and healthy, but charging in his remix, winning that Rhine v Rhine battle against Super Pluke. Spree and Hedan both fall here. On top of that, Kungarna with 4 kills, steamrolling through on this first point, coming out with authority here on Dorado. They do get a teleporter down, I believe Mineral did, so the respawns will be coming through, but it's just on the other side of the door. Kungarna gets the cap anyway, so it doesn't matter. Coming out very strong here to start us off.
Every single time we make one of these predictions, it seems like the other team starts off really, really hot afterwards. If this were a game you would bet on, it would be a nail-biter 24/7, because it just goes back and forth constantly. Luminosity giving up the first point, Kungarna taking it with 5 minutes left on the clock. They do have 2-4 ultimates already on their side for Kungarna. Luminosity doesn't have anything, but Hedan closing in on a nano boost, and Earth Shatter already coming out from Kungarna.
Yeah, they sent it right on in. Didn't necessarily find the kills in the end. Oh my goodness, Super Pluck staying alive, just barely. A clutch sleep dart onto Connor J. He did manage to get one with his whole hog, and the player advantage still certainly in favor of Kungarna at the moment as they just continue to press the cart into the next checkpoint. Luminosity just waiting on these respawns. Baby Bay, yet again, he does this so well. He plays in beautiful areas to get these gravitons off, combines it. Michael has that self-destruct. Be looking for this combination because Kungarna is so good with it. We'll get at least one player caught in it. It's Ube. They do find the kill, so it'll at least, well, it was a one-player advantage, but they trade back. Baby Bay goes down to Icefeld, who gets a couple for himself. Spree, who made a switch over to the Diva, will find 2 for himself on top of that one. So Luminosity able to hold on right there. Didn't get as much off that Graviton combo maybe as Kungarna wanted.
That was big for Luminosity, turning around, taking away some of the ultimate economy from Kungarna. Now Luminosity on top. They've got Attack Visor for Icefeld, Spree with the self-destruct, Ube, whole hog. They don't have a nano or an Earth Shatter to combine any of those with. No Zarya on the field, but separately with all this high ground advantage that Luminosity can flex, Icefeld can certainly find the right angles to clear out Kungarna's backline. Kungarna, however, when they're running 4 tanks, that really only leaves 2 immediately vulnerable, and Michael, he's definitely a diva that's going to fly right in Icefeld's face as soon as that attack visor rolls out. Yeah,
Michael's certainly keen on doing that, and here he comes, just
bouncing,
boofing Super Pluck right off that high ground. Self-destruct flying into the back. This time, not going to find anything. Sound barrier from Kungarna. 2 players are down, 3 actually for Luminosity, and Kungarna with a very solid push there, meeting them on the high ground. Michael again doing a great job of initiating for Kungarna and displacing the rest of Luminosity, kind of scattering them out a bit, and Kungarna then just focus firing targets down, and they will get significant distance off of the cart here. ConnorJ even with a whole hog. So does Ube's got one ready as well, and Luminosity looking to come right back out here. Self-destruct from Michael will take down Mineral Earth Shatter through from the side of Luminosity. Super Pluke will use it, but Kungarna gets the second point cap, and they have 4 minutes to push this cart into the last point.
Kungarna should cap this out. It's just going to be a matter of how much time Luminosity can bleed off of them before that happens. Kungarna with an Earth Shatter, a Graviton, a Nano Boost. Michael doesn't have a self-destruct up at the moment, but you can still combine those and do just fine to blow through. Perhaps they'll want to hold, but right now, Blam barely trying to stay alive, a Biotic landing on him. He's in a little bit of a dicey situation. However, Pluke's going to go down. The Graviton coming out for Kungarna as Kungarna mops up Luminosity. 4 down. Kungarna rolling into the final point here with only one person left on the side of Luminosity to slow them down, and a huge stagger playing very far forward. ConnorJ looking for an early hook. Remix being sneaky about it. He's going to drop an Earth Shatter at a very awful time.
He's waiting for it. Super Pluke starting to come back out, does get the Earth Shatter off, is going to charge both Reinhardts into each other. Super Pluke down, as well as Edan. Now Tack Visor from Icefeld as he tries to come out from the opposite side of the spawn point there, and Luminosity are finding some kills. There is sound barriers out from both sides. Both teams are going to use it. Remix drawn right back in, but he's quickly taken care of by Icefeld as he presses forward. I think Kungarna could have possibly held on to that sound barrier. They were already down a couple of players in the fight, and with Luminosity's respawn so close, it's very, very difficult.
I was going to clarify when I said he was going to drop an Earth Shatter at a very awful time that it was going to be very awful for Luminosity, yes. But it turns out it was just kind of true on its own, really only knocking down D.Va, and Luminosity recovering relatively quickly. They're now up 3 ultimates to Kungarna's 1. And they've already got the high ground back. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Kungarna trying to slip in below.
Here's an Earth Shatter from Super Pluke. Gets ConnorJ on the ground, and they do find the follow-up. On top of it, Icefeld is traded out, so a 5v5 fight. Now Kungarna taking the 5v4 advantage, but it's still good trades back and forth from Luminosity. Whenever they lose one, they find one of their own. Self-destruct. He's going to land on top of the cart on, well, both sides, really. And Remix now in a bit of trouble himself. Very low on health, and Spree comes to the rescue to help secure the kills. So Luminosity are holding on, really bleeding a lot of time off of Kungarna's bank, and they're now down to 1 minute and 45 seconds to try and bring this card home to the final point.
But speaking of the banks, Luminosity really only has a Nano to rely on for this next fight. And Kungarna, they're getting close to another Earth Shatter, Graviton, a whole hog, and a Nano Boost. The only thing they don't have working for them is Michael's self-destruct. Ajax's sound barrier is about halfway there, but Kungarna, they've got a lot of tools to push this in. They just need to use them in the right order.
Oh, Ube gets knocked down onto the low ground. Earth Shatter through from a Remix. I don't think he got anything off of that, but there is going to be a Graviton, a good Biotic landing on top of that. 3 kills for Kungarna. They only lost Baby Bay in the process. They still have some distance to move that cart, and that Luminosity respawn point is very close indeed, so they need to continue to move this cart forward because those respawns are just now coming out for them, and Kungarna still have to get Baby Bay back into the fight. He did make the switch to Tracer to try and help his team out on this next fight. They have 55 seconds to make it happen. Mineral did go down from Luminosity, but his respawn already coming through, and there's no one on the cart from Luminosity. Man, I thought they were going to be able to get on it there. I don't know what happened to them, but they just displaced everybody, and Kungarna sending it on in.
Ube changing over to May. It looked like trying to put the wall down on the ground, vertical from his position so he could walk on top of it straight to the cart, something we've seen a few times, but it looks like it fumbled a little bit, locking himself into the room. He finally got out, came around behind the cart, tried to ice block, but it looked like the cart moved just far enough away for him where he couldn't contest, and then walked straight into the cap. Just a little bit of fumbling there from Luminosity at the end, allowing Kungarna to cap with 50 seconds left, but a nice recovery based on how far Kungarna had taken it and how quickly they had gotten it there. Luminosity now going to have their chance at offense. Kungarna on defense. Ajax locking in Symmetra. I expect that one to stay. Blam on Ana. That's pretty much going to be perpetual. Blam putting himself out there in a recent interview, I believe, stating that he believes he is a top 5 Ana. I think that's a pretty fair assessment, although it gets very, very tricky to start measuring Anas. I know we say a lot of the time, you know, one of the top Anas in the game, and it seems like we've listed 8 different Anas as that, and it's it's hard to choose. It's hard to choose. There's so many of them.
Right.
Playing so well, but Hedan consistently stands out, and I think Shake is definitely another one. But Blam, he's certainly a big part of Kungarna. A lot of solo healing situations he's carried his weight in. So Ajax, we've seen him play Symmetra in the past, and it is certainly a threat. Getting some early turrets out right now, just to get a little bit of ult percentage as quickly as possible. But he's another one of those Symmetras that does a great job putting shields into the fight and causing problems for the offense.
And to the Ana point as well, when it comes to supports, a lot of times it's really hard to evaluate supports to the fullest extent, at least when we don't get to see a lot of them, a lot of the POV of that as well. So, but to what you were saying, Blam is up there with the best of them, for sure. But anyway, we have a change in sides, and it will be Luminosity now on the offense. Yet again, team running Symmetra on the defense of Dorado. Very popular pick on this map. But nothing too extraordinary out of Luminosity in terms of team composition. Pretty standard 4-tank setup for them on the offense. And there will be a hook through. Bubble lands onto a player was hooked, didn't quite catch who. They trade 1-for-1 actually. Both Reinhardts did go down, Super Pluke and Remix. So they traded out. And now Luminosity looking to get a bit more aggressive, but it's tough when you have those giant Symmetra balls flying through the choke point. Connor J actually getting hooked in, and Icefelt securing the kill, helping getting the final blow there. And that teleporter slash shield generator is not up yet for Ajax, so he's quickly going to want to get that one down. He's at 90%, soon to be up, but Nano Boost coming out for Kungarna, trying to buy a little bit of time to get that. Now Graviton out from Baby Bay. A lot of people caught up inside of it, but there's just not a whole lot there to deal the damage and secure kills. And Earthshatter through from Remix is going to allow a lot of Kungarna cleanup and just get a whole lot of kills for them there. And now they have that ultimate. Ajax has it, and they'll be able to put that one down.
Good recovery by Kungarna there. A Reinhardt trade in that situation is generally going to go in favor of the offense, as their return is relatively quick, though Kungarna can charge their Reinhardt back into the fight. So it's not quite as much of a difference as it can be on some maps where that's not a straight path back. Remix was able to get himself back in that fight relatively quickly. Luminosity's working with 4, almost 5, almost 6 ultimates as they come in here for another assault.
Self-destruct in from Michael, but him and Ajax both fall. They do have that teleporter up inside of the apartments on the right-hand side, so they will have respawns to fight this point. Luminosity have gotten a lot of kills here, but Kungarna looking to hold on. Super Pluke using Earthshatter. The shield was up though from Remix, and now there's going to be a Graviton in from Luminosity. Self-destructs are out there. 2 kills so far for Luminosity. And Kungarna able to respond with a few of their own, and I think they might be able to hold on. Remix using his Earthshatter, putting some more bodies onto the ground, helping take out Ube. And they still are fighting it out here. Icefelt, though, is going to get finished off. Kungarna holding on here. Teleporter paying off big time. They no longer have that teleporter up, but it at least helped them win that fight. They buy themselves some more time, now leaving Luminosity with a minute left on the clock to get this first point.
Luminosity grasping for a solution here. You can see that because Ube has changed over to Pharah. Not necessarily a good omen this late in the fight. He's getting some nice angles from the side there. A lot of people, and perhaps viewers, might not know that that wall you can fly directly over. A lot of Genji uses those paths, sometimes Symmetra, or sorry, Sombra. But right now, Kungarna taking the pace away from Luminosity, pressing in. Spree's already down, and Kungarna looking good.
Ooh, 3 kills for them. And as we said, they no longer have a teleporter up, but they're at least going to win this fight.
I'll have one.
Yeah,
it'll probably be a shield generator, though, because this late,
all they need to do is just win. They really just need to win one more fight, and they got map 1 under
maybe it's
wraps.
not even worth the time. Just put the shield generator down at all. The beam itself is such a huge presence. Kungarna, they do have 4 ultimates already, and Luminosity, they've only got 2, a Nano Boost and a Self-Destruct. That's not a natural symphony. Kungarna, they've got a ton to work with.
Ube's got the Nano Boost on himself. There it is. Michael with 2 kills off of his Self-Destruct. I gotta imagine that is GG's for map number 1 here. Kungarna all over this cart, and Luminosity are, I mean, desperately just trying to get some bodies on it, but no one's really going to be able to get there. So Kungarna Well, yeah, there we go. Cleaning up on the final kills. Map number 1 will go to them. Very, very commanding fashion for Kungarna. Yet another team getting a full hold on the first point here of Dorado. Good start for them.
You're absolutely right. We've had 2 maps of Dorado so far, and both of them have been 3-0. Not something we see a lot of around here, but that's 2 shutouts there.
Yeah, I mean, full holds, not something you really see too much in general in Overwatch, but not only
Dorado's
complexity,
a tough first point, though.
It is, and especially when teams are running, I mean, pretty much everybody and their mother is apparently running Symmetra on first point these days of Dorado, so, I mean, you combine that, able to get yourself up with the teleporter, I mean, it's just a constant respawn's coming back, and it's tough to take the first point.
It certainly is. We'll take a look at that final defense there from Kungarna as they're able to get the win here over Luminosity Gaming. Well done by them.
Yeah, they got the telly up, and then, of course, they also just had a beautiful bomb to start this off. The self-destruct from Michael. Time and time again, his self-destruct's paying off, even with just 1 or 2 kills. But in a final moment like that, those 2 kills are absolutely pivotal to them winning the fight. And really, that's a large part of why they did take that.
He's clearly practiced at a number of those, arcing perfectly into position
yes.
from where Baby Bay had put his graviton down. Baby Bay also seems like he has very rehearsed positions for it that deviate maybe a meter back and forth, but not by much.
It's interesting to note that with that shutout, Kungarna now leads the Overwatch Winter Premiere in shutouts at 6. They were tied with Renegades at 5, and with Complexity's shutout earlier on Dorado, that was actually the very first time they've shut anybody out here in the Overwatch Winter Premiere.
Got some good defenses coming through from Kungarna. Apparently, these guys can really shut it down, but I'm sure Luminosity not too happy with their performance on the first map. I think they know they can do better. We've seen them do better, so you know, we'll have to see exactly what they want to take for a second map. Of course, map pool a little bit different now as we head into this phase of the tournament, but I mean, we've seen them do well on places like Nepal, things like that, so maybe Luminosity will want to take themselves onto Lijiang, possibly, for map number 2. I don't know. Kungarna can still play there as well.
You nailed it. It's Lijiang.
Lijiang?
Lijiang it is.
Got him. All right. But, well, I think that's one of the better chances at taking a map here. Kungarna playing very well today, though. But, I mean, you get Icefeld on Tracer. I mean, you have Ube, who can be a disturbance on quite a few heroes, whether it be Genji, Roadhog. It's a chance for him. I think it's Luminosity's probably best shot at this, and I guess they do as well, as they take Lijiang. So it's map number 2. We'll see.
Well, you guys called a 2-1. Kungarna takes map number 1, so Luminosity's going to have to take Lijiang if you guys are going to be correct here.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him. Let's see. It's with the way Kungarna's playing right now, it's going to be very tough. They showed that they came to play today here on map number 1. Dorado. Now we head to Lijiang. Luminosity's got to win this one to at least keep themselves in this match in particular, but
can certainly see the logic behind trying to find some opportunities for Icefeld to open things up, playing Tracer. Seen Ube play, you know, Genji as well, so maybe at the same time, I've also seen Michael play vicious Tracer and Connor J playing anything, let alone his Roadhog on a control point. Granted, I can take that argument to pretty much every map in the map pool and be like, I don't know, man, Connor J on Roadhog there, no thanks.
Yeah, Connor J on Roadhog is a scary sight, to be honest. I would hate to play against that. Ajax just chilling on top of the basketball hoop, I think. But anyway, here we go. Lijiang Tower. Quad tank. What do you know? Both sides. Here we go as they both go main off the start. Michael just goes in right away to displace the Luminosity players, and he'll be able to hunt down Super Pluke right after that. And some good focus fire from the rest of the squad of Kungarna. Michael with 2 kills to open things up for Kungarna on this first point. Yet another one. Cleaning up spree after Connor J got the hook and dealt a bulk of the damage. And that'll be first point going to Kungarna as a strike here.
Is that a slow 4K for Michael there?
Yep. Indeed it was. Some good stuff. Guy that plays a mean diva.
He's always, one of those things to watch with Michael as well is, we saw it just there, he's always doing a great job of trying to bump keep players out of position. A lot of times the Reinhardt to open up that shield war, or at least make it very awkward, and perhaps Connor J get a hook in the middle of it. We see that work out time and time again. Right now, Blam Baby Bay combining for a 4K as Luminosity falls yet again. Kungarna now fighting from a defensive position. We've already seen how deadly that is on Lijiang. And Kungarna now with a nano boost and Earth Shatter, a self-destruct. Baby Bay, he's got a Graviton any second now. He can easily have a Roid Heart bomb combo back-to-back, which Kungarna can definitely extend for 2 fights. Putting Luminosity in a tough situation. Luminosity needs to take the pace back and get the Graviton out first.
Baby Bay there just waiting, does put down the Graviton, charge into the back. There will be the self-destruct. Luminosity though, despite the ults that Kungarna invested into the fight, Luminosity are coming out on top of kills at the moment. They used Nano Boost onto Icefeld. And they got some value out of it. He combined with the rest of the squad to pick up quite a few kills. Luminosity come right back. Kungarna, though, able to put down 62% on that point.
It's a big win for Luminosity there. Kungarna didn't burn 2 of the ults they could have, but Luminosity taking the tempo away from Kungarna, not letting that fight happen on their terms. It was very close, razor-thin line, but Luminosity getting a Graviton out first and following it up. Michael's got a Nano. He's going to be looking for the back line.
Their shields were up. Remix went for the Earth Shatter, but Super Fluke, he had a keen eye to it coming. Charges in though. Remix getting quite a bit of damage onto Super Fluke, being healed nicely by Hedan, and actually helps secure the kill onto Remix. So Luminosity will hold on for yet another fight. They're at 40% and counting. Super Fluke did a good job of holding on to his Earth Shatter as well from that previous fight, so he'll have that to work with as Kungarna tries to come in for this next one.
Kungarna now with only a Whole Hog for Connor J, Luminosity, an Earth Shatter, and a Whole Hog. Getting very close to a Sound Barrier as well.
Whole Hog sent forward as Ube comes in. There's an Earth Shatter out from Super Fluke. No follow-up on the kills yet, but they do have Remix separated, and he's probably a pretty easy one from Super Fluke trying to charge in. But there will be the Whole Hog from Connor J, knocking him out of the way. Ube took out Remix. The 1-for-1 trade as Kungarna trying to re-push onto this point. And I heard a Graviton come out. I think it got eaten up by Icefeld though. And here comes, well no, there's one from Baby Bay. This time he'll be laying it out. I think Spree's Graviton was the one to get taken out. But here's Kungarna. Holy smokes, just blowing through Luminosity. Full team wipe as they were sitting at 88%. Kungarna, coming back. Stringing together quite a few kills in just about a second flat.
Kungarna perhaps in their final possession. Luminosity needs to take it back once to close this out. Kungarna has an Earth Shatter and a Self-Destruct. They can certainly combine those two. Luminosity with only a Self-Destruct, and they're going to have to take it. But Kungarna is pushing in first. Kungarna already down one. Connor J, they're going to equalize it, taking out Super Fluke as well. Spree falling, Ube right behind.
Earth Shatter was there, and a Self-Destruct from Michael. Finding the kills they need now. 94% left, especially as some of these Luminosity players trickle and end up going down. I mean, it's Mineral just trying to stay alive long enough to touch the point for his team, but Luminosity's not going to have any sort of players around. I mean, they had some in vicinity, but even if they had someone to touch that point, there's no way they were going to win the fight. Kungarna had all the presence there, and that'll be first stage of Lijiang Tower going over to Kungarna. Right here. It was a back and forth affair. Luminosity got themselves into it, but Connor J, time and time again, came up big for Kungarna in these fights. And that was when Kungarna retook the point and just got 6 kills in about a second and a half. But we head on to the next stage here. Kungarna with a 1-0 lead in this series of control point on Lijiang Tower.
We're just going to have to call it a map. Call
it
a map.
And this map.
And each individual will call a stage.
Yes.
We're just going to go with it.
That works.
Stop confusing both ourselves and
the viewers.
Everyone else.
Yeah. Well, it is quad tank yet again on both sides. So.
Oh, wow. Remix. The deep charge taking out Hedon in an unfortunate situation to start this fight out.
No regard from Remix. Connor J sits in the back and will just be getting the hooks. Ube this time getting Connor J, taking a breather. Right there was Connor J, but so is Ube. Actually getting some good right clicks, just melting Ube. And Kungarna are going to get this point first. Here yet again, also looking pretty darn good on control point themselves.
They're already up in the ultimate economy. Michael self-destructed 87, Connor J 84 himself. Luminosity, Super Blue getting pretty close to 70%. He actually is ahead of the Earthshatter game against Kungarna. Kungarna already up to 20%. Kungarna starting to dive a little bit in the backline of Luminosity. Remix has already fallen though, so that's going to be a problem for Kungarna.
Remix went down, Super Pluke fell as well, so they trade out Reinhardt's, but Michael trying to come forward with his nano boost, and he combines with Connor J, who used the whole hog to find a couple of kills right there, and they're continuing to press forward, find some of those stragglers of Luminosity. Kungarna, just about 45% and counting for them.
That's going to be a problem for Luminosity. They did lose that first fight so quickly. There wasn't a whole lot of ultimate generation for Kungarna, but now Kungarna has a bomb combo online. They're working on an Earthshatter. It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, but Luminosity does have 4 of their own. If they can take the tempo away, they might just take the point back.
Graviton self-destruct on both sides, but Michael's the one that gets 3 off of his self-destruct. He even cleans up on Spree right after that. 4 kills for Michael. And the rest of Kungarna are there to support him, and it's 70% now for Kungarna. Luminosity need to make something happen off of this next fight. Both teams used quite a bit of ultimates on the last exchange. But actually, well, for Kungarna was only 2, really.
This is the fight Luminosity needs to take, or they will give up this stage as well.
This is a very pivotal fight for them. Super Pluke using his Earthshatter, puts Connor J there. He's going to charge him into the back, takes him down. A bit of a stutter on the wall for a second, but they've traded 2 for 2. At the moment, Luminosity loses another one. Hedan right at the end of that as Michael is able to find that kill. So things not looking very good for Luminosity at the moment, but Ube comes back on Tracer to get himself into the fight and just stall things out a bit if he can. Sound barrier used from Luminosity as they have respawns coming back into the point. Michael's still there to stall as long as possible as well, so Kungarna can get those respawns back to the point. Baby Base so close to it. Graviton really needs to get it and lay it down. Does get the Graviton off just in time, and that should help Kungarna secure this point. Yes, indeed it will. Baby Base staying alive. Very, very well done from them, and that is a 2-0 lead for Kungarna on this Nepal, or this Lijiang map here. Just a breezing for them. Very well done, but this combination was huge. Yet again, Graviton charging in, getting the shield down, self-destruct. Easy peasy. A wombo combo for Kungarna.
Pretty one-sided fight on that stage for Kungarna. Luminosity getting a few little moments where it looked like they might be able to capitalize on it, but most of the time Kungarna had already taken down too many people or answered back so quickly, Luminosity just couldn't get any momentum. That's going to have to change, where this will be the final stage of Lijiang for Luminosity and thus the final map of this series.
As it's do or die for Luminosity now, and Ube making a switch to Pharah for this stage of the map, seeing if he could even get a concussion, get some players off the map early on, give the advantage. But a few Luminosity players already have taken quite a bit of damage, and they press back, and it left Super Pluke up ahead of the rest of the team without heals, without any support, and he will go down alongside of Icefeld, who's now playing Roadhog. And not a good start for Luminosity, to say the least. They lose a couple of more players, and okay, that hook from Connor J.
Poor Hedon. 2 stages back to back.
I don't even know how
Honestly,
that hit him.
That's just the life of a support, though. You take the hooks, you take the icicles, you take so many things that were not meant for you whatsoever.
Yeah. And you're just very sad afterwards. Life of a support player can be a rough one sometimes, but Luminosity looking to re-engage at the moment. Remix charges, doesn't quite find anything. And the health of Luminosity in general, well, even Kungarna as well, not looking the best, but they lose Ube. Luminosity does, all thanks to Connor J. 2 kills for him on the start of this fight. Spree is in, but he will just drop off the map and reset alongside of really the rest of the Luminosity players. And Kungarna is just looking so dominant at the moment. They still have ultimates to defend with.
And that was a good call. That would certainly take a lot longer for the same result had Luminosity not reset there. Kungarna now with a bomb combo already, a sound barrier. They got a lot of other ultimates on the way, but Luminosity has just an Earthshatter and a nano boost to work with. However, Spree getting very close to his Graviton. He will have it online for this next fight.
go. Baby Bay has the Graviton. Oh, he woke up Diva, but he's really just trying to get him out of the mech first. He will drop it. Mineral and Heatan both caught inside of it. Connor J with 3 kills for Kungarna. Baby Bay and Blam there to clean up on a couple others. Ube, the last one in. It's a team wipe.
You sure
Kungarna
Baby Bay
looking good.
didn't just wake him up to charge his gun up for a second there?
Hey, maybe. That's very possible. Make sure he
clearly,
has more.
It's clearly an accident, but if
Yeah.
he was pulling that, that would be...
Yeah. Hey, he just wants more melting power. That's all he wanted. Well, here comes the Earth Shatter self-destruct. Another 2 kills for Kungarna. Oh my, this could be all said and done for Luminosity in this series. It is just no one left around. Baby Bay melting people alongside just great focus fire from Kungarna. They had used the sound barrier, Luminosity, but it's just Super Fluke left in at the moment. They need to just stall for time. Ube hanging on by the skin of his teeth on the backside of the point, was trying to come back onto it, but Kungarna steamrolling Lijiang Tower as well, taking Luminosity down 2 maps to 0. Man, I will tell you, Kungarna looking very, very good at the moment.
Looking so good. A double back-to-back shutouts there from Kungarna. Luminosity did not score a single point, and that is the last team that beat Kungarna.